Scopophobia, the fear of being watched or stalked. You're alone in your room, late at night. You have the lights off, it's completely dark, but you can't help but feel like there's something else in the room with you. You don't know what, you don't know why, but you can just tell that something is there. Scopophobia. Weirdcore images give us this fear. Not only are you in an alternate plane of reality, but you're being stalked by shadowy figures, entities of some sort. These eyes, these hyper-realistic eyes that just don't seem to let up. They don't even try to hide themselves, they're just there. They make their presence known. But why are these so creepy to us? Why are they so scary? Where do they even come from? To find out where these came from, we're gonna have to go far, far back. To the Bible. No, seriously, to the Bible. Back in ancient times, God communicated with his people through prophets. He would choose certain people to communicate with in their dreams, and then those prophets would go out and tell everybody else what God has revealed to them. And through these prophets, we can get a little bit more insight onto where these eyes from Weirdcore came from. Just bear with me here. One of these prophets was named Ezekiel, who God decided to show him what a real angel looked like. It was described as the following. Their entire bodies, including their backs, their hands, and their wings, were completely full of eyes, as were their four wheels. Another kind of angel that's relevant to this topic is seraphim. Another prophet named Isaiah was revealed what seraphim looked like, and it was described as the following. They each had 6 wings. With 2 they covered their faces, with 2 they covered their feet, and with 2 they flew. It's weird, isn't it? The eyes that we see in Weirdcore edits seem to be a combination of these 2 kinds of angels. Eyes add an element to Weirdcore images that make that image exponentially more creepy. Again, I want to emphasize the fact that these things aren't here to hurt you. They're just watching you. They're using your own trauma against you. They're not doing anything to you. They're just putting your own past in front of you. I mean, think about a lot of Weirdcore images. They have these cryptic messages talking about your past, making you confront it. They don't hurt you because, to be honest, they don't have to. They just show you things that already hurt you. These things are creepy. They're always watching you, which means you're never alone, which means you're never safe. Or maybe, just maybe, you're always safe. I want to touch on a point similar to the point that I made in my video on why we love liminal spaces so much, and that point is childhood trauma. Let me ask you a question. What is the one constant throughout every child's life? Their parents. Their parents are always watching. According to Swiss psychologist Jean Piaget, children, especially in their first 6 years of age, learn everything about life from their parents. I mean, they learn everything about their own existence from their parents. They learn how to act, how to treat people, how to talk, what's appropriate, what's polite. They learn everything from their parents. Their parents are always there. Think about a child on their first day at daycare or school. What are they doing? They're always crying, right? Why? They're crying because this is the first time they've ever had to live without their parents watching them. Throughout the first 6 years of their entire existence, they have always had their parents by their side, over them, watching them. And every child has to go through a moment where it's the first time their parents aren't going to be there for them. And in that moment, that child, every child who's ever lived, experiences trauma. And how do they get through that? I mean, how do we as people get through our trauma? Well, we try to relive it. For some reason, our brains as humans want to relive our own trauma. Like, think about fetishes, right? What are fetishes? Fetishes are things that people enjoy sexually, but where do they come from? They come from trauma. For some reason, I mean, it makes no sense, but for some reason, the human brain wants to relive its own trauma. Something in that is comforting to people, or at least a lot of people. So what I'm proposing is that these eyes in Weirdcore images that are always watching, that are always there, is, in a way, a vessel that we can use to relive our trauma of being alone. And these images were never alone. And I think that everybody who enjoys these images doesn't feel as alone when they look at them. I mean, sure, it may be creepy, but they're not alone anymore. That omniscient power that was there for them when they were kids is finally back. And it may be in the form of these eyes, but it works. These eyes are one of the best additions to Weirdcore. They add a creepy vibe to it, and they're adding flame to the fire of the comfort and nostalgia that, personally, is what made me fall in love with these images. These eyes might be my favorite part about Weirdcore. And don't forget, You're always being watched, whether you know it or not.